Today we'll be reading Stolen Focus by Joanne Hartley.
What page?
Currently we are at page... What page? One moment. We are currently at page... I don't know. What page is that? Page 4 or something.
Page what?
The before it. Where are you going? Before. Back. Possibly here, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
okay. And we're at page 7 currently. Let's get started.
Okay, we're not reading to the school line. I guess it's 2 whole pages.
Too bad we're reading to the
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Read.
Tia, we're not reading to the school
Let's
line.
read. Come on. Just start us off. Every squiggly line.
No. Tia, but this goes for 2 whole pages. I'm not reading every school line now.
Come on. Let's read.
This is every paragraph, okay?
Let's read.
For a long time, I reassured myself by saying this crisis was really just an illusion. Previous generations felt their attention and focus were getting worse too. You can read medieval monks nearly a millennium ago complaining that they were suffering from attention problems of their own. As human beings get older, they can focus less. And they become convicted that this is a problem with the world and with the next generation, rather than their own failing minds. The best place to know for sure would be if scientists starting years ago had done something simple. They could have given attention tests to random members of the public and continued doing the same test for years and decades to track any changes that took place. But nobody did that. That long-term information was never gathered. There is, however, a different way I think we can reach a reasonable conclusion about this. As I researched this book, I learned that there are all sorts of factors that have been scientifically proven to reduce people's ability to pay attention. There is strong evidence that many of these factors have been rising in the past few decades, sometimes dramatically. Against this, there's only one trend I could find that had been improving our attention. That's why I came to believe that this is a real crisis and an urgent one. Listen. Tian, listen.
Okay. Yeah, we're up to?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I also learnt that the evidence about where these trends are taking us is stark. For example, a small study investigated how often an average American college student actually pays attention to anything and monitored what they did in a typical day. They discovered that on average a student would switch tasks once every 65 seconds. The median amount of time they focused on any one thing was just 19 seconds. If you're an adult and tempted to feel superior, hold off. A different study by Gloria Mark, professor of informatics at the University of California, Irvine, who I interviewed, observed how long on an adult working an office stays on one task. It was 3 minutes. Actually, was not really normal.
I technically read 2.
Too bad. Go.
So I went on a 30,000-mile journey to find out how we could get our focus and attention back. In Denmark, I interviewed the first scientist who has, with his team, shown that our collective ability to pay attention really is rapidly shrinking. They met with scientists all over the world who have discovered why. In the end, I interviewed over 250 experts experts from Miami to Moscow, from Montreal to Melbourne. My quest for answers took me to a crazy mixture of places, from a favela in Rio de Janeiro, where attention had shattered in a particularly disastrous way, to a remote office in a small town in New Zealand, where they had found a way to radically restore focus. Team Captain.
Oh, what's mine?
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, I lost the page. Here, John? No, that's 66. Here? No, that's too far. Here?
Yeah.
Where?
I came to believe.
I came to believe that we have profoundly misunderstood what is actually happening to our attention. For the years, whenever I couldn't focus, I would angrily blame myself. I would say, "You're lazy, you're undisciplined, you need to pull yourself together." Or I would blame my phone and rage against it and wish it had never been invented. Most of the people I know respond the same way, but I learned that in the fact something much deeper than personal failure or a single new invention is happening here. I'm done. Drunk. Bug. Up there.
I first began to glimpse this when I went to Portland, Oregon, to interview Professor Joel Mead, who is one of the leading experts in the world of children's attention problems. He said that might help me grasp what's happening if we compare our rising attention problems to our rising obesity rates. 50 years ago, there was very little obesity, but today it is endemic in the Western world. This is not because we suddenly became greedy or self-indulgent. He said, obesity is not a medical epidemic. It's a social epidemic. We have bad food, for example, and so people are getting fat. The way we live changed dramatically. Our food supply changed, and we built cities. It's hard to walk or bike around. And those changes in our environment led to changes in our bodies. Something similar, he said, may be happening with the changes in our attention and focus. Your turn. Your turn.
Okay. He told me that after studying this topic for decades, he believes we need to ask if we are now developing an attention pathogenic culture, an environment in which sustained and deep focus achieved it. There's scientific evidence for many factors in poor attention, he said. And for some people, there are causes that lie in society driving people to this point so often because we have an epidemic that's being caused by specific things that are dysfunctional in our society. John, you up. You have to read that one and that one because that one's super short. It's super short. It's 3 lines.
Too bad it's a paragraph. Okay. Later, I asked him, if I put you in charge of the world and you wanted to ruin people's ability to pay attention, what would you do? He thought about it for a moment and said, probably about what our society is doing. Your turn.
John.
Tien's your turn.
That was a couple.
That was a paragraph.
Read again. That was a
No,
couple sentences.
Tien, that was...
Keep going.
That was barely anything.
Are you arguing that I will see how good that?
How do I continue?
I found strong evidence that a collapsing ability to pay attention is not primarily a personal failing on my part, or your part, or your kid's part. This is being done to us all. It is being done by very powerful forces. Those forces include big tech, but they also go way beyond them. Well, this is a systematic problem. The truth is that you are living in a system that is pouring acid on your attention every day. And then you're being told to blame yourself and to fiddle with your own habits while the world's attention burns. I realized when I learned all this, that there's a hole in all the existing books I read about how to improve your focus. It was huge. They have, in the main, neglected to talk about the actual causes of our attention crisis, which lie mainly in these larger forces. Based on what I learned, I have concluded that there are 12 deep forces at work that are damaging our attention. I came to believe we can only solve this problem in the long term if we understand them. And then together, we stop them from continuing to do this to us. Teen, your turn. Your turn. Last paragraph.
Huh?
Your turn, last paragraph. Up to through the line. Right here, through there.
There are real steps you can take as an isolated individual to reduce this problem for yourself, and throughout this book you'll learn how to carry them out. I am strongly in favor of you seizing your personal responsibility in this way. But I have to be honest with you, in a way that I fear previous books on this topic were not. Those changes will only get you so far. They will solve a slice of the problem. They are valuable. I do them to myself, but unless you are very lucky, they won't allow you to escape the attention crisis. Systemic problems require systemic solutions.
Alright, let me see.
We have to take individual responsibility for this problem, for sure. But at the same time together, we have to take collective responsibility for dealing with these deeper factors. There is a real solution, one that will actually make it possible for us to start to heal our attention. It requires us to radically reframe the problem and then to take action. I believe it has figured out how it might start to do that. Okay, that's all. And we have just finished page 10. Okay, now that's going to be all for today. And I hope you enjoyed it.